The ultra-liberal spinoff, MSNBC, had border czar Tom Homan on their program this morning, hoping to go after him about deportation efforts in the city of Boston. But watch what happens when he turns the tables.
I see on the show this morning you have Governor Healy talking about ICE doing enforcement operations at a church. False. Didn't happen.
They were parked there. They did not do an operation there. She said they were parked in a public space legally.
But to say that and to push that out there puts fear in the immigrant community. So let me tell you what's happening.
To do that puts fear in the community. Right. To park the ICE agent's vehicle
they're on a
near
public
a church.
street.
They
they're
are
on a public street.
She said
they're on a public street,
sir.
waiting to respond to a criminal alien release pulled aside the road. Let me tell you, in the last couple of days, what's happened in Boston. They've arrested Victor Gomez Perez, a 33-year-old criminal alien from Guatemala, with charges of aggravated rape, assault and battery with dangerous weapon, indecent assault and battery on a victim 14 years or younger. They arrested Kaylee Espinosa, a 34-year-old criminal alien from Colombia, with charges of aggravated assault on a pregnant victim. They arrested Joshua Gonzalez, a 24-year-old criminal alien from Dominican Republic, with charges for trafficking heroin, morphine, opium, resisting police, disorderly conduct, and drug distribution. They also arrested Samuel Armando Barrera, a 20-year-old criminal illegal alien from Guatemala, pending charges for assault and battery on a child. So Mayor Wu and Governor Healy, they ought to be calling ICE and thanking them for making their streets safer, to protecting their communities and taking these people off the street. They've turned a blind eye to this. They're sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities and sanctuary states are sanctuaries for criminals. Give ICE access to the jail to arrest a bad guy in the jail rather than have to go in the community to find them. Because when you go in the community and find them, it puts ICE officers at greater risk. It puts the community at greater risk. It puts the alien at greater risk because anything can happen on a street risk.
Ooh. And like a hostage between Mika and Tom, you see the other anchor pop up for a second. Oh, no, take me off screen. So Homan wasn't done yet. He goes after their language of choice on illegal alien arrests. Watch.
The bottom line is, because of all this false narrative, and you using the term disappearing people, is
that's
disgusting.
What's happened. That happened to the group that was sent to El Salvador.
U.S. citizens get arrested every day. U.S. citizens get arrested by police every day. Are they being disappeared? No, their laws are being enforced. They're being arrested. They're being put in detention because they committed a criminal offense.
Not like what you're doing.
Not even close. We're enforcing the law and arresting people here in violation of law that are public safety threats. That's not disappearing people. That's enforcing the laws of this country and making this country safer.
Kennedy.
I like that he was able to back up his argument. I mean, I have shared skepticism about the way we've done certain enforcement in this country, but I think, right now, for people who are getting into law enforcement, they actually want to go work with ICE because they know there's a lot of focus and a lot of money going into that department. And when he talks about the most dangerous people in a city who are finally being apprehended, Michelle Wu can come out and virtue signal, but at the same time, in private, all of these people are breathing a sigh of relief because they don't have to deal with them anymore because of their horrible progressive laws. And instead of incarcerating and really punishing the people who are committing these crimes over and over and over again, and those aren't blanket dragnets that are being complained about here in New York City. That is very targeted, but they're not doing that, and it makes the cities and the communities, especially the immigrant communities, less safe.
That's an excellent point because they are generally the first targets anyway.
Yes.
I mean, because they're the victims that are closest to the gang members and the worst.
So if you've got the worst people in a city, then they have to be dealt with.
So, Dr. Siegel, you kind of couldn't miss there that Mika Brzezinski really was not prepared to call these people illegal. At least that's what I heard, that there was some frustration to admit that these people are here illegally. Did I miss something?
No, that was virtue signaling. And I think, as I've said on the show multiple times, coming from a family of immigrants, as everybody here has, and my wife being an immigrant, legal immigrant that suffered for 6 months to get into this country, I bristle with those type of omissions. But Tom Homan speaks to the American people. He said something that we didn't have in the soundbite. He says, every time I'm on your show, I speak with integrity, I speak with honesty, and I speak with facts. And I think that that's how he comes across. Now, you take L.A. County for a moment, which this is not what he was talking about today. LA County, 1/3 of all residents are immigrants, right? About 900,000, according to migrationpolicy.org, are illegal immigrants. So it's not about racial profiling. It's not about only Hispanics. It's about trying to get people out that come here illegally and aren't and are representing a threat to our society. He's doing his job.
Wow, rounding up 900,000 people here illegally in one jurisdiction. Imagine the mighty nature of what they're trying to accomplish, President Trump's team. Rosanna.
I was just thinking, you know, just a few years ago, we watched thousands of people come across our border.
You mean last year, when Biden was still in office?
Okay, that's right.
Caravan.
Thousands. And thousands, we were getting thousands every week on the buses. And some of our local leaders in New York City were actually hugging these people as they came off the bus. I think we would have felt better if we saw that they went through some kind of vetting process. But the problem was, it was a free-for-all. They were going through fences, climbing over fences, going over border parts that had no checks. I mean, this is what we're dealing with now. Sadly, this is what we're dealing with. We have to remember, some of these people who came here don't have the virtues that we're looking for in this country, who really don't want to be American citizens, who don't love America. They're just coming to commit crimes. And they come here with young children, some of these kids unaccompanied by a family member or a friend. They're putting them to work on the streets of New York. We see it day after day. The police are trying to get rid of them. It's called the Street of Sweethearts in Queens, where basically week after week, they go there and they try to get rid of this human trafficking that's going on the streets in Queens.
Yeah, and I've heard friends describe it, too, that the little ones sometimes have no shoes on their feet and they're selling candy, and I don't know where the candy
I mean, the city council knew at one point that there were so many kids here without a family member. I mean, what were you going to do with these kids? They were in the hands of gangs.
Well, and this is another issue that's huge for Tom Homan. I mean, he has cried on the Faulkner Focus. Real tears come down.
Because he cares.
Yeah.
Look, if you open the Merriam-Webster dictionary and go to mic drop, the picture of Tom Homan should be there after what we just watched. That was a masterclass in how to deal with false narratives coming from the left. An absolute masterclass. But the thing I know about Tom Homan, you just alluded to it, for him, it's not about owning the libs.
Right.
It is about protecting the innocent. He knows those stories because they're sewed upon his heart. The pregnant woman who he mentioned that was assaulted. He cares. He cares so much, and he gave a statistic this weekend on Sunday. 70% of those that ICE have arrested have criminal histories. He said the other 30% they believe have gang ties, though they do not have criminal histories yet. If there were tons of innocent people being rounded up across the country, like the media likes to say, you would see their faces every single night on CNN, MSNBC, and the like. You don't, because he is doing his job. He is protecting the innocent. He does not want another innocent American to lose their life.
That's an excellent point, because if we've learned nothing from this Irina Zaruska case, it's that cameras are everywhere.
Exactly.
And they don't show what they don't want you to see, but they do show you what they do want you to see.
Well said.
That's a great point. All right. New York City mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani has doubled down on his plan to
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.